All right, hello everyone. I'm assuming with this hole we're going to try to find a way to go for it in some regard or fashion, making sure that I have a backspin short iron if I need it, I guess. Long iron just in case. I'm gonna play this safe. We're gonna put Saturn on just in case. But I'm not even sure that's possible. I'm not sure there's any way that I can even have a long iron on this hole. I can't remember. But we'll put it on just in case. Some nice backspin would be nice too. I'm half tempted to put on Houdini. Maybe Sand Lizard just as a precautionary. You can see the Sand Lizard has quite a bit more backspin than my Spitfire. I'm going to give up some distance, but not the end of the world saying that I can topspin it so much. So maybe I'm going to switch to Sand Lizard, and that's the reason that I'm not going to go for Malibu is topspin. Not to mention, I think backspin's higher as well, right? Yeah, both. So topspin and backspin, both better on Sand Lizard. So that's what we're going to do there. Aside from that, let's just try to go at this with a method. I'm half tempted to throw on Machete as well, but I really don't think we need top backspin on this hole. Amazon could be good as well, something to think about. You got to assume that if you go for this green, well, we're not going for necessarily the green. I'm not sure if it's even gettable, but I'm sure it is, but you might need globes. And not having globes, we're just going to kind of be anticipating we're trying to find a way to lay up. So a good way to lay up is kind of what I'm looking for. And the way that I like to really project this ball is, and it'd really be nice to get a live opponent. I cannot believe how long the thing is just spinning. It's the middle of the day. I mean, this is not off of weird hours. I just can't believe how long it's taking. So we did grab somebody. Let's see what the wind is. Not to mention, we also need to know, is the wind going to be up? Is it going to be down? So what was this guy doing with, I'm just trying to think. What was the last hole? Okay, I could see why I'd use a Santa. This is a par 3. 9.5, what's that, a 12? 12 something. So I better get 12 something too. Give me a 13. So hopefully, I can be at least 10.5 minimum on the wind with 10% less wind resistance. So ideally, 10, 11 winds. That's hopefully what I'm looking at. We are going to try to, get it up there to our pitch as opposed to, having to do this 3-wood. This 3-wood shot is just so hard, especially when we start talking expert wind, very high, makes it even harder. And you can see, I'm trying to visualize, at least 10 rings down is kind of my landing zone. What I usually do here is I try to land it relatively centered. I try to keep, the topspin very, very straightforward as well. That helps get a little bit of extra momentum that you might need. And like I mentioned, aside from that, I'm just trying to land very centered into the fairway. So I'm just trying to visualize where centered is going to be, and I believe it's going to be more or less there. And there you see, perfect ball. So you're going to get a really good sense of how I just played that, and let's see how this runs out. It looks like I need to get just a little bit more to the left there. So not quite the best shot, but like I mentioned, with a globe, you're gonna be so much better off. You could probably almost model my aim, since it would be going more downwind, at least probably 2 miles per hour. I would have had 8 yards more carry, who knows, 10 yards more carry. It would have just probably been perfect. And you can see, I got to the right of the hole, so that's kind of the way that we want to play it, just because, right of the fairway, just to kind of crank up that top spin and keep it kind of maximum. That's what I'm doing. When I'm not putting on a lot of side spin, it's really going to take more of that top spin bite and go more towards the hole. And you can see, you know, kind of my line was good. It just needed, you know, a little bit different approach in there. And let's see how we want to do this. I usually try to use the backstop, but I might not do that here. So if that's, I usually play that about 1.5-ish per ring, maybe 2 1/4, somewhere in here. 2 1/4, somewhere like that. I might just try to, you know, do it like this, 2 1/4. I'm assuming at least 4 rings here. Way late on my time. That might actually... crap. So really wasted an opportunity there by talking too much and not focusing on the shot at hand. And, you know, I was really late with my timing there. Just assume that, you know, you're probably not going to make it anyway. It's all about just kind of finding that adjustment and at least giving yourself the best opportunity. So that's more or less what I'm doing there. It's just unfortunate that I couldn't, you know, hone in on perfect ball a little bit there. I was a little bit late to look up at the screen. I was trying to worry about setting my power too much, which caused me to not watch the meter, and I was very delayed with my I was very late on my release. Here you can see what we're looking at here. You know, no matter what ball you have, we're going to play very similar in terms of rings. So never, you know, anticipate, you know, with a berserker ball, I'm at min club. Doesn't mean I'm going to play a min club adjustment. The ball's going to still carry just like it would have if I didn't have a berserker ball on. So I do want you guys to be aware of that for shootouts. And this one looks pretty good. Wow. Am I playing a replay? So inside a yard, very good. You can still beat it, but Jesus. Not giving me much. And here you can see just kind of like what I just mentioned there. We're right at min, but I can tell you that we're really not right at min. It might just seem that way. So what you're going to see me do here is I'm going to try to estimate. Here's the problem. I can't tell if I'm into the wind or downwind. But again, I'm just trying to, you know, figure out how much left spin to put on this. I'm assuming this isn't enough, so since I'm running out of time, I'm going to do it with some curl. There's 5, there's 10, 10's too many. I'm going to come in some. Like I mentioned, I'm going to do just a hair of curl because I feel like I underplayed the amount that it's going to run out right. And since I really don't have the time to make the adjustment, it's coming in just a tad bit too hot anyway, so I'm not going to pick up the win. That was, you know, quite the good shootout. Still, I can't tell, you know, with the way that still don't know if it was a replay or not. Still may have been. The emojis were just kind of weird, and the way that it just came on at the end like that, either way, still can't tell. So, but anyway, no big deal. You know, hopefully you guys can hone in on that. I do really recommend going for the green, kind of how I did. Let me just reset my bag a little bit. But as you can see, it's also going to be very challenging because I wasn't even close to getting it to the fairway there. So it's going to be very wind direction dependent. You know, it might help going first. I'm not sure. You know, there's going to be a variety of factors that you need to consider. So definitely keep that in mind. There's going to be a lot of things that you just need to think about going for that green. So, but like I said, you know, I feel a little bit more comfortable being able to make it with that Nirvana being in a little bit closer than I do with a sniper. The closer you can get and the less fairway roll you play, I feel, in my opinion, you're going to increase the likelihood that you can get it to go in on that hole because that fairway is just so jacked. So really keeping it off of that fairway is the big key. And coming in at that angle, you're going to be able to do that. So keep that in mind, and see you guys for hole number 4.